1983. In the ERP, he found himself in a serious internal dispute with leader Alejandro Rivas Mira, who was becoming an influential leader of the armed group. As a consequence, the leadership of the ERP decided to execute him. To this day, Roque Dalton is remembered for his bohemian lifestyle and the jovial, irreverent personality reflected in his literary work, as well as his commitment to social causes in El Salvador. His work is diverse, going beyond the influences of his Marxist beliefs. He is considered one of the most influential Salvadoran writers. So, you know, what is also Roque, there's always a significance about him. There's always been a very strong personality to him, but I guess it's been 45 years now, if I'm not wrong, since his death. And I think that it speaks a lot to how it's still significant of, you know, his beliefs have not died. His memory has not died. And I think with today, you know, elephant in the room, there's a pandemic going on, but bigger elephant in the room, it's revealing the holes of the flaws of capitalism that have always been there. So I think that with this cultural night, I hope that we all are able to see what we're going through today and remember Roque as kind of the visionary who saw that community, that building community, fighting against oppression was the way to achieve liberation. With that, I will follow this up with our amazing acts and introduce them. The first act I believe we're having today are the brigades. I will first introduce the Roque Dalton Cultural Brigade. This brigade was founded in the mid-1980s by Emeritus Poet Laureate, I just learned how to say emeritus today, I'm very proud of myself, of San Francisco, Alejandro Morhuia, no, let me know if I'm wrong, after an original brigade in Mexico. Its members included the Emeritus Poet Laureate of the United States, Juan Felipe Herrera. It has never disbanded and celebrates Dalton on his birthday each year. It has been responsible for the City Lights edition of the Poetry of Central America, edited by Barbara Paschke and Morguia, the Nighthorn Books publication of the poems of Otto Rene Castillo, edited by Magali Fernandez and David Volpendesta, and the clandestine poems of Dalton, translated by Jack Hirschman and edited by Paschke. And I'll also introduce the Revolutionary Poets Brigade, since I believe they're co-forming. This brigade was founded in 2009 and has published annual anthologies of international poetry, many of them under the title Overthrowing Capitalism Anthology. The title of this year's anthology is Building Socialism. And I will introduce Jack to further the details on that. Jack Hirschman is the Poet Laureate Emeritus of San Francisco and is a founding member of, is a founding member of Revolutionary Poets Brigade in 2009 and World Poetry Movement in Medellin, Colombia, 2011. He is the translator of Poemas Clandestinos by Roque Dalton. Awesome. And I'll let you take it here for Jack.
Thank you, Savannah. Am I seen? Am I being seen?
Let's see.
How do can you unmute me?
We can hear you, I think.
Can you hear me? I don't need to be seen. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you all?
We can hear you.
Hi. Okay. I'm going to introduce after I read what I regard as one of the great poems of this generation that was written by Roque in the book that I translated, Poemas Clandestinos. I'm going to read the poem Act. En nombre de quienes lavar ropa ajena y expulsan de la blancura la mugre ajena. En nombre de quienes cuidan hijos ajenos y venden su fuerza de trabajo en forma de amor maternal y humillaciones. En nombre de quienes habitan en vivienda ajena y aún los mastican con sentimiento de ladrón. En nombre de quienes viven en un país ajeno, las casas y las fábricas y los comercios y las calles, las ciudades y los pueblos y los ríos y los lagos y los volcanes y las montañas son siempre de otros. Y por eso está allí la policía de guardia. Cuidándonos contra nosotros, en nombre de quienes lo único que tienen es hambre, explotación, enfermedades, sed de justicia de agua, persecuciones, condenas, soledad, abandono, opresión, muerte. Yo acuso propiedad privada de privarnos de todo. Act. In the name of those washing others' clothes and cleaning others' filth from the whiteness. In the name of those caring for others' children and selling their labor power in the form of maternal love and humiliations. In the name of those living in another's house, which isn't even a kind belly, but a tomb or a jail. In the name of those eating others' crumbs and chewing them still with the feeling of a thief. In the name of those living on others' land, the houses and factories and shops, streets, cities and towns, rivers, lakes, volcanoes and mountains always belong to others. And that's why the cops and the guards are there, guarding them against us. In the name of those who have nothing but hunger, exploitation, disease, a thirst for justice and water, persecutions and condemnations, loneliness, abandonment, oppression, and death. I accuse private property of depriving us of everything. I have always regarded that as one of the great poems of this generation, and I always love to read it, and every occasion I can. Now I would like to introduce a member. I want to know if first of all, is Dottie Payne here? Is she on?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me, Jack?
There you go, Dottie. Now I'm going to introduce Dottie. Dottie and I went to Cuba, and in Cuba, she read a poem for Roque Dalton, and the El Salvadorian poets there were so enchanted that they sent a whole book of poems, homages to Roque Dalton that we have published. It's called At the Left of the Heart. I'm just holding it up here in a very small edition. At the Left of the Heart, and our compañero Jorge Argueta organized an event recently for this book with many of the poets. He's in El Salvador, where he's built, as you know, a beautiful children's library. So I'd like first for Dottie to read the poem that she read to Dalton, and then we'll have a couple of other translators to also read from the books that they translated. Okay? Dottie first.
Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I don't know if some of the younger people, or if you're not from my part of the world, which is the Midwest, 70 miles from the Mississippi River. Roque Dalton's father was part of the Dalton gang, and they were infamous, and I heard stories about them as a child growing up. So I reference that in this poem. And hello, how nice to see you all. I'm very homesick for San Francisco. I've been out of the country for a while. Do not say my name, for Roque Dalton. After I am dead, do not say my name, Roque said, as if he could finally evade this rage he'd helped manifest, could once again escape. But Roque knew better, really, had learned at birth how to transgress borders of bones, understood DNA. No one creates destiny. One must accept heritage. His father flew the girth of the Americas, made retribution on his terms with hate, thought for certain he'd lost all contact, while I, a girl child, swam the Mississippi in spite of deadly water moccasins, learned to walk alone in dangerous cornfields, learned this boldness in part from all those Dalton brother myths, the irony of valorizing them, their ability to defy, to resist. I never heard of Roque, yet somehow found him, a bold brother in struggle, kinship formed without sperm ever touching ovum, oaths sworn, pacts made, heed no nations. No, Roque, we cannot grant your request, and not even your genius can override this. We will continue to say your name again and again and again. We'll continue to transgress their laws, their borders, their hate, their deluded sense of things to come. We accept only the absence of your flesh, your revolutionary audacity. We will continue to proclaim Roque Dalton como tú. Thank you.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. Now, may I ask, is Barbara Paczki here? Barbara? Is Barbara Paczki here?
Yes, I am. I had to unmute myself.
Okay. Barbara Paczki is one of the original members of the Roque Dalton Cultural Brigade formed in the 80s. She is also, of course, with the Revolutionary Poets Brigade as a translator. And she is one of the translators. There are 4 translators in the At the Left of the Heart book. And I'm going to ask her if she would read a poem in both languages for the folks here.
Yes, indeed. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. I noticed that the poet Eduardo Salvador Cárcamo was in that amazing film, which I would love to see again. So I thought, oh, I translated his poem in honor of Roque, so I will read that one.
Good.
Roque. Amigo Roque, camarada del tiempo, nunca antes te dediqué un poema, porque seguramente no estaría a la altura de tus vientos. Y porque en vida nunca te gustaron las lisonjas ni los improperios contra la poesía, Bien, dijiste que la agradecías porque con ella llegaste a la revolución y revolucionaste todo, hasta superar tus exilios y tus encarcelamientos por disentir con los sistemas de turno. Roque, gracias por tu poesía. Gracias por tus libros no muy abundantes, pero con una temática sustanciosa y variada para deleite de tu tiempo y del nuestro. Roque, hace más de 30 años de tu partida, misteriosa, obligada por oscuras circunstancias, y tu vigencia es floreciente y continua, como el mismísimo sueño de Romero, anhelando en el Salvador libre y pletórico. También por todo esto te damos las gracias, aunque han pasado tantos años. Para dedicarte unas cuantas palabras, sería porque en ese entonces no era el momento propicio. Decían los abuelos, más vale tarde que nunca. Y hoy en este octubre lluvioso, cosa rara, por los trastornos climáticos, te mando mis saludos sin impulas, ni para aprovechar tu imagen, como han sido haciendo los que no soportan tu viva voz, más poética que nunca. Me despido, no sin antes decirte que hay Roque Dalton para mucho más tiempo en la vida de nuestro pueblo salvadoreño. Gracias, Roque. En cualquier momento nos encontramos para charlar con un cafecito, humeando con un paralazo bravo de mera cepa. To Roque. Roque, my friend, comrade of time, never before did I dedicate a poem to you, because I certainly wasn't on the level of your literary heights, and because in life you never liked flattery nor insults against poetry. You even said you were grateful because with poetry you arrived at the revolution, and you revolutionized everything, even overcoming your exiles and imprisonments to disagree with the powers that be. Roque, thank you for your poetry. Thank you for your books, not very numerous, but with substantial and varied themes, to the delight of your times and of ours. Roque, it's more than 30 years since your mysterious departure, the result of dark circumstances, and your presence continues to flourish like the very same dream of Romero, longing for a free and bountiful El Salvador. For all of this, we give you thanks. And even though so many years have passed before we now dedicate a few words to you, it's because in the end, there was never a suitable time. Our grandparents said, better late than never. And today, in this rainy October, a rare thing, for the climatic disruptions, I give you my greeting without pretension, not to take advantage of your image like those hypocrites who've returned, who don't support your living voice, more poetic than ever. I say goodbye, but not before telling you that for many more years, Roque Dalton will be in the life of our Salvadoran people. Thank you, Roque. And at any moment, we will meet each other to talk over a coffee, steaming with an excellent swig of pure stock.
Thank you. Bravo. Bravo.
Roque, thank you.
Now I'd like to call upon Judy Bernhardt, also a member of the Revolutionary Poets Brigade, to read a poem that she translated for the book. Judy?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good. This is from Héctor Denis López. Los logos seguimos vivos. Seguimos vivos andando con los nombres a rastras, entregando tarjetitas de mano en mano. Seguimos locos, asfixiados de olvidar, confundiendo risas, puliendo nuestros nombres, aunque no nos nombren, seguimos locos. El consuelo del ángel nunca llegó, el murciélago ya no da dones, los brujos ya no tienen magia, pero los borrachos seguimos en la misma cárcel. Los logos seguimos vivos, hablando con Roque todas las mañanas sin pronunciar su nombre. Solo flor, abeja, lágrima, pan, tormenta. El silencio no ganó, pues aún está su voz, fumando margaritas con palabras ajenas y buscando poesías sin palabras. Los locos seguimos en las ciudades ácidas, pero ya no hay leyendas que disfrazar, y el humo de las fábricas no profetiza alegría, pero los locos seguimos vivos, aunque muramos hoy, mañana, un año, un mes con marchitas flores. Nacerán más locos, y los más locos, como Roque y como tú y como yo, seguimos custodiando el tiempo de los tocos. We madmen live on. We're trawling for names, passing little notes from hand to hand. We're still madmen, asphyxiated by forgetfulness, confused by mirth, polishing our names, although we don't name ourselves. We're still madmen. The angel's consolation never arrived. The bat doesn't give gifts anymore. The shamans no longer have magic, but we drunks are still in the same jail. We madmen live on, talking with Roque every morning without uttering his name, only flower, bee, teardrop, bread, storm. The silence didn't win since his voice is still here, smoking daisies with foreign words and looking for poems without words. We madmen continue in the sour cities, but now there aren't any legends to disguise, and the smoke from factories doesn't prophesy joy. But we madmen live on, even if we die today, tomorrow, a year, a month with wilted flowers. More madmen will be born, and the maddest, like Roque, like you, or like me, continue biding our time.
Bravo, bravo. Bravo. Now I'd like to introduce another of the translators from At the Left of the Heart, John Curl. Is John here?
I'm here.
Okay, John.
Okay, I'm going to read a poem by Roberto Ramirez called a Carta in Spanish and Letter in English, by Roque Dalton. Arrancaron las heridas, queriéndolas esconder, incluyendo las tuyas, pero nunca suturaron a pesar de tanta tinta. Desde el 32 o desde antes, siguen abriendo zanjas de sangre y uno se confunde, te lo juro. Ya no sabe quién las sigue tallando. En tu tiempo, te desvelabas con alcohol, escribiendo en algún rincón, mientras escuchabas pasar el terror de las botas negras. Yo ahora también me desvelo haciendo lo mismo en un rincón, escuchando al pasar el terror de los tenis blancos. Pero vos hiciste más de que desangrarse en tinta. A veces escucho una bala y pienso en la que tocó, me acuerdo. Irónicamente, de protección civil, vos lo sabes mejor, yo solo pienso. Según me cuentan, tanto no ha cambiado la cosa, todavía nos interrogan en la entrada de cada barrio y nada entienden cuando les decimos la palabra poesía. Terminamos diciendo sílabas extrañas, las mismas una y otra vez, y nunca nos cansamos de repetir, aunque nos sirviera de mucho más que para música bajita, como analgésico para el corazón. Pobrecitos nosotros, huérfanos de país, pobrecitas ellas, huérfanas aún de desparecidos y contando. Pobrecitos los poetas, huérfanos de vos. Al final nos queda una llaga irreparable donde vos estuviste. Letter to Roque Dalton. They tore open the wounds, wanting to hide them, including yours, but they never sutured in spite of so much ink. From 32 or from before, they continue opening trenches of blood, and one's confused. I swear to you, he still doesn't know who keeps cutting them. In your time, you stayed up late with alcohol, writing in some corner, while you listened to the terror of black boots passing. I am now also sleepless, doing the same in a corner, listening to the terror of white tennis shoes passing. But you did more than bleed in ink. Sometimes I hear a gunshot and I think about what touched you. I remember, ironically, about civil protection. You know it better. I only think. According to what they tell me, things haven't changed much. They still interrogate us at the entrance of each neighborhood, and they understand nothing when we tell them the word poetry. We end up saying strange syllables, the same ones over and over again, and we never tire of repeating, although it might not serve as much more than soft music as a tranquilizer for the heart. Poor little us, orphans of our country, poor little women, orphans of the disappeared and still counting. Poor little poets, you're orphans. In the end, we are left with an irreparable sore where you once were.
Bravo, bravo. Bravo, John. It's next we'll hear from another member of the Revolutionary Poets Brigade, Karen Melanda Magoon. Karen?
Okay, thank you very much, Jack, and thank you for having this wonderful event. Really enjoyed the poem there, John. This is just one that I have written, and it's only in English, although I'm thinking I'm going to go back now and translate it. This is Roque Dalton, martyr, 1975. He was killed by his brothers, his friends, his fellow rebels. He wrote of the poor who lived on anything and nothing, of death in love rather than death in hate. Those who feared the poet threatened him with the slander of betrayal, threatened to smear his red ghost, the ghost that died betrayed. Oh, Roque, you knew the sounds of nature, crickets and growing things in fields of El Salvador. You knew the sounds of crying babies encircled by massacring armies, hiding in those same fields, starved as their mothers died, killed as they screamed. You knew the sounds of hate and the sounds of love. You knew Cuba. You knew Prague. You knew Diego Rivera. You knew revolution, and you were a poet, a soldier of truth, killed for your belief in life and justice.
Bravo, bravo. Bravo. Alejandro's not here. Alejandro Murguia? Alejandro? No. Okay. I'm going to close this part of my part of the poetry by reading, I was one of the translators of the book, a little poem by Jorge Canales, Dialéctica. A veces la vida se burla de la tumba vacía. La soga rompe la rama, el viento fecunda la flor. A veces el espejo rompe la bala. Bajo la luna desova un pez. A veces de la tumba vacía se burla la vida. ¿Verdad, Roque? Dialectic. Sometimes life makes fun of an empty tomb. The rope breaks off the branch, the wind fertilizes the flower. Sometimes the mirror shatters the bullet. Under the moon, a fish spawns. Sometimes life makes mockery of an empty tomb. Ain't that so, Roque? Okay, my friends, thank you very much. You were all quite beautiful.
Thank you, Jack, and thank you everyone from the Roque Dalton Cultural Brigade and the Revolutionary Poets Brigade. Yeah, that definitely, I think especially Karen's poetry resonates with me a lot, especially it's just being Central American and knowing what Roque witnessed and seeing what we're witnessing now as well, and the repetition of it, but also his dedication to his ideology and methods. So with that, I want to introduce Rafael Jesus Gonzalez. Rafael, if you're here, yes, you're here. Rafael taught creative writing and literature at Laney College in Oakland, where he founded the Mexican and Latin American Studies Department, which I would like to say thank you. He was a poet in residence at Oakland Museum of California and Oakland Public Library in 1996. He was nominated 3 times for a Pushcart Prize and was honored by the National Council of Teachers of English for his writing in 2003. In 2013, the city of Berkeley presented him a Lifetime Achievement Award, and in 2017, he's named the city's first poet laureate. So I'll pass it off to you, Rafael.
Gracias, Savannah. I just mentioned before reading that I was born and raised right on the border, as many of you know, and consequently heir to 2 muses, and all my poems are in the 2 languages, discrete words in 2 tongues. Después de carnaval, a Roque Dalton. Después de carnaval, llega la hora de la ceniza, tiñe las frentes del humilde devoto y del arrogante y el vanidoso. Cae el cielo gris y solemne, de donde lluevan bombas, bobas y listas. Pienso en la alta hora de la noche que como tú que lees estas líneas, todos amamos la paz y aborrecemos la guerra. Pero también los que aman la guerra leen y hasta escribirán versos. No lo sé. Lo que sé es que siguen las guerras, la matanza, la injusticia, el sufrir y que no se logra el descanso del guerrero ni el de la víctima, si no es que le encuentren en la muerte, donde todo es ceniza, gris y fría, sin ningún matiz de carnaval. After Carnival, for Roque Dalton. After Carnival comes the hour of ash. It stains the foreheads of the humble devotee and the arrogant and the vain. It falls from the gray and grim sky, raining bombs, stupid and smart. I think in the high hour of the night that like you who read these lines, we all love peace and hate war. But also those who love war read and may even write verse. I do not know. What I know is that wars go on, the killing, the injustice, the suffering, and that rest is not attained for the warrior nor for the victim, unless they find it in death where all is ash, gray and cold, without the shade of Carnival. Another one that I wrote for Roque is a Roque Dalton. Ayer, como tú, estudié algo de tedio, las malas noticias en un pedazo de periódico, de los crímenes de los locos, del vanidoso y el cínico. Como tú, canto la revolución, y si mis versos no son suficientes, recuerdo tu advertencia. No te pongas bravo, poeta. To Roque Dalton. Yesterday, like you, I studied with some boredom the bad news in a piece of newspaper, the crimes of the madmen, the vain, the cynic. Like you, I sing the revolution. If in my verses are not enough, I recall your admonition. Do not fume about it, poet. Think about some lines of Roque Dalton. I'll read a poem that I wrote, not to Roque, but El Salvador. A bit after his, sometime after his death. En El Salvador, las balas encuentran sus nidos en los pechos de monjas y de maestros. Hay sangre en las manzanas, hay llanto en los telares. En la Casa Blanca, el malo actor de vaqueros desempleado come dulces de goma y dice: los derechos humanos no nos importan. No es negocio nuestro lo que pasa en esos países. Y envía rifles y municiones a los generales. Hay sangre en las manzanas, hay llanto en los telares. Y en El Salvador, bullets find their nests in the breasts of nuns and of teachers. There is blood in the apples. There are tears in the looms. In the White House, the unemployed hack cowboy actor eats jelly beans and says, Human rights will not be our concern. It is not our business what happens in those countries, and sends guns and bullets to the generals. There is blood in the apples. There are tears in the looms. And I thought that I would share with you was probably one of my favorite poems of Roque's in closing. Como tú, yo, como tú, amo el amor, la vida, el dulce encanto de las cosas, el paisaje celeste de los días de enero. También mi sangre bulle y río por los ojos que han conocido el brote de las lágrimas. Creo que el mundo es bello, que la poesía es como el pan de todos, y que mis venas no terminan en mí, sino en la sangre unánime de los que luchan por la vida, el amor, las cosas, el paisaje y el pan, la poesía de todos. Like You by Roque Dalton, my translation. I, like you, love love, life, the sweet enchantment of things, the celestial landscape of January days. My blood also boils, and I laugh through my eyes. They have known the flow of tears. I believe that the world is beautiful, that poetry is like bread, everyone's, and that my veins do not end in me, but in the unanimous blood of all who struggle for life, love, things, the landscape and bread, the poetry of everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Raphael. Yes, that was very beautiful. And I think I especially resonated with your connection of watching the news and probably familiarizing with how he felt seeing the injustice of profiteers during this time. I think he would be very unsurprised again, just seeing the death cult that the system is a lot of the time. And I wanted to introduce Equipo MAÍZ. First, I wanted to let folks know that they're a Salvadoran dance group that performs traditional Salvadoran dances. And I wanted to call on if Gloria is here and she's able to further elaborate on Equipo MAÍZ before we play the video. Gloria?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, yes.
Sorry.
Okay. Thank you for inviting me to participate in this beautiful event. I'm going to read in Spanish and then my son is going to translate in English. El Grupo MAÍZ se formó para la comunidad salvadoreña para que se recordara de nuestros bailes tradicionales y no se olvide de esta parte de nuestra cultura. Y se formó en los años 80 y participamos en muchos eventos denunciando los abusos que estaban pasando por la guerra civil. Y hoy seguimos participando siempre en muchos eventos políticos, religiosos y culturales, tratando de ayudar en lo que podamos.
Grupo MAÍZ was formed by the Salvadoran community to remember our traditional folkloric dances. We don't forget our roots. The group was formed in the 1980s, and we participated in several events that denounced human rights abuses and also US intervention in Central America. and the Central American Civil Wars. We continue participating in various cultural events, religious events, political events, and wherever we can help. Thank you.
Y este baile que vamos a participar, que vamos a presentar a continuación es en honor a Monseñor Romero, y es pues en honor a nuestro querido Monseñor Romero, y ahí estamos nomás unas cuantas personas, bueno, somos como 6, pero en estos bailes solo estamos como 5, creo yo. Ojalá que les guste.
This is a dance for Monseñor Romero, and it's 6 of us participating, and we hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Serás por siempre profeta, guía de la libertad. Eres los vientos de guerra, tu valentía viento. Esperanza justiciera, gritando liberación. Un Señor libre soy, es tu corazón, el pueblo que tanto te amó. Un Señor libertad, nos hace marchar. Hoy tus palabras sencillas denuncian la realidad, marcan con sangre al tirano, llaman al pueblo a luchar. No podrá callar tu ejemplo en medio del coro. Tu sangre será la vida, el renacer de nuevo.
Amazing. I know that every time I see Equipo MAÍZ, it makes me miss my family in SoCal and definitely makes me miss my visit to Central America right now. And with that, I want to introduce my inspiration and also NorCal FMLN member, Heide Martinez, to give an update on the work that is going on.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Heide Martínez y soy la secretaria del FMLN NorCal. Nosotros como FMLN hemos estado trabajando desde los 80 en solidaridad con nuestro país. Y estamos trabajando dentro de la comunidad en Estados Unidos. Ahora estamos trabajando con la comunidad TPS y estamos el presidente que tenemos en creo que no me escuchan. Can you hear me? Sí, ok. Entonces, como...
Sí, podemos escucharte, dale.
Ok, como FMLN, el norte de California, secretaria del partido, estamos trabajando desde los 80s en solidaridad con nuestro pueblo, El Salvador. Y en verdad, I want to say thank you to everyone to show up this event in memory of Roque Dalton. Thank you very much. Appreciate it like FMLN and NorCal. And I be continuing in Spanish because I do it better in Spanish than English. And, ahora, en este tiempo, con el presidente Nayib Bukele, estamos en situaciones difíciles, como el COVID-19, y se ha levantado la represión en este momento porque hay un estado de sitio completamente. Las personas no pueden salir de sus casas a buscar comida, están desesperados y no los dejan salir. El que sale, lo llevan preso si no le toca salir ese día y lo mantienen en centros de detenciones sin ninguna base médica, y algunos alcaldes están siendo reprimidos por este presidente. Y nosotros como FMLN de NorCal estamos trabajando con la alcaldía de Panchimalco. Este alcalde fue capturado, pero el pueblo lo liberó. Entonces, como hay hambre, hay desesperación, nosotros como FMLN NorCal estamos colaborando para llevarle alimentos a esta población que no tiene, y esperamos de su generosidad para contribuir más con esta causa, ¿verdad? Y les pido de todo corazón, apoyen nuestras organizaciones, CISPES y FMLN. Seguimos trabajando. We join us for that. CISPES and FMLN, we are a partner in this project. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And you can find us in Facebook, FMLN NorCal, and you can put an opinion or something like that in our page. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Heide. And before we move forward, I want to make sure, is Walter Gomez here? I don't believe I see him, but just want to make sure before I move ahead to the best part. Since I haven't heard from him, I want to move to Alan Fisher. I believe it's making a pitch. But,
Thank you.
oh yes, longtime CISPES member and comrade. I'll move it to you, Alan.
Yes. Well, Aide, we thank Aide for telling us a little bit about what the Northern California chapter of the FMLN has been up to. And for those who don't understand Spanish, I will say that they have developed a program to provide food for this town called Panchimalco outside of San Salvador. And there's been some repression. Their mayor was arrested, and there was some corruption that they are involved in combating with and aiding the people there, as well as she related about the draconian repression that is going on now with President Bukele with the excuse of the COVID pandemic. And so she mentioned those things. I would like to say that the Bay Area chapter of CISPES has been supporting very much the struggle around the privatization of water in El Salvador. And the campaign is Make Water a Human Right. And so we have heard from one of the representatives of that movement explaining the details of their struggle. And that's one of the things that our chapter, and actually national CISPES, has been involved in and supporting. We are fortunate tonight that someone, actually one of our members, has proposed a $250 match grant. And maybe some of us have some spare money that we can get together and at least meet that match, so we could get the $500 contribution that will be split between the FMLN Northern California chapter and our CISPES chapter for doing our work and for aiding and accompanying the sisters and brothers in El Salvador that are struggling so hard. So I'd like to by the way, in order to make a contribution, there are several ways to do it. You can look at the chat box, your chat box on your screen on the right side, and you will see information how you can donate online or how you could send a check to Bay Area CISPES with the address there. And you can also call there's a phone number provided, I believe, for more information on giving a donation. But at this time, I would like to know if there's someone here who has the ability to match the $250 that we have already a possibility of gaining. So if there's anyone that might have $250, you can raise your hand and we'll proceed.
No veo el número de teléfono, dice esa persona.
No veo el número de teléfono.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to let folks know, do you all know where the chat box is? Just so we all know that we see it. For those that don't, in the bottom of your screen, you'll see a button that says chat, and it's like the talking bubble. And you just click on that, and you should get the list of the current chat that's been going on.
Yes, but the telephone number someone asked is 415-503-0789. 415-503-0789. Okay. So is there someone that might be able to come up with perhaps $100 contribution?
Yes, we are. We'll give $100 contribution.
Okay, well, we're on our way.
Also?
We're on our way, aren't we?
And Aide also is gonna, so we have 200.
Okay, so let's see if we can surpass that goal of 250.
Oscar is calling. Oh.
Yeah.
Hello?
I lost you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, okay, good. There we are. Okay, so is there any other contributions of $50 or $25 or $10? We welcome them. Or $5.
And you can
Understood. This is a very difficult time, so if people can't, they can't.
Exactly.
You know, we don't expect people to donate, but if they can, we put it to good use.
Well,
So, well, we picked up 200. Try to get 50 more. Anybody else? I see a green phone thing on my screen, but I don't know what to do with it.
Sorry about that. I think we're trying to find how to mute it.
Oh, here you are. Yeah.
The person that has the 510 number, if they can mute 510-710-294.
Okay.
I do 20.
Okay, there's 20. So now we're up to 270. We only, no, I mean 220. We have just a little bit more and we'll make that match. $30 more. And 25 in PayPal came through, so we can call it a match. We're close enough.
Look at it.
Thank you, everybody.
And for those, there's also the PayPal link that you can donate to that's in the chat. I'll put it again in case. There you go. Awesome. And, you know, oh, sorry, I'll let you finish.
Living wage, yeah.
Okay. Well, we certainly made the match.
Thank you.
We're getting close to 300. So thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for your help on this, for this successful fundraising.
As Alan said, it is definitely difficult times, especially for fundraising, but I think we know that in difficult times that, you know, I feel like money is a form of like mutual aid and how we intentionally pass around the same $20 in some way, but we're putting it towards efforts that are truly about social causes and working in social movements, not in a neoliberal banking method way, luckily. So with that, I would like to move towards, I think I'm making this on its way. So yeah, I would like to also, I guess, take this moment to again reflect Roque Dalton's memory, since right now, again, it's very dire moment. I think, I don't know if I have not lived long enough in the United States or existed long enough to know crisis. Oh, okay, I just want to make sure he's not there. But I feel like during this time I can relate, and probably for those Central Americans that are also on this call or other folks, but when I read Roque, I feel like I read the history that my family experienced, and from my Salvi family to my Nicaraguan family, and like Rafael said again, to the news that you see every day, and you see the sway of the profit interests, and it feels like you're watching a movie, or you're reading a science fiction novel. That it's so surreal. But I think Roque Dalton in moments like these is, I don't want to say like a beacon, but he is someone to reflect on, and that he had such a personality of hope and a very sardonic personality that I very much admire personally, that he was able to face danger and face crisis with such a unique energy, I guess. But but I think that also something to learn, I think that is really hard to talk about for him, is his death. As I said in the beginning, and I think as folks saw in the documentary, he was killed because of a conflict with the leader, I believe, of the party that he was a part of. So I believe that in itself is a lesson that we need to learn from Roque, of how much do we become each other's enemies, that we're losing our way of who our original, you know, who the original, I don't want to say target, but like the original class conflict is to be who gains from our violence against one another. And I feel like that's even in the US. In the mainstream consciousness now, we have a movie like Parasite that shows class conflict amongst the proletariat. Yeah, I think about that all the time, and how we can learn from Roque's death and learn from how we deal with conflict amongst one another. Because if we don't base it in a form of, to be corny, if anyone's read Bell Hooks, I recommend, but to base it in community and base it in love and honesty, even if it's uncomfortable. So I'm gonna call on, I call on Miguel. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna call on, is Miguel there? Enrique is gonna come up soon. I don't think he's here quite yet. So I think Miguel ALFARO will be up next. So Miguel, if you'd like to take it away.
Hi, everybody. I guess it's supposed to be the last one, but oh well, thank you for calling me in. Before I read something about Roque Dalton, I want to say that Roque always said that do not forget your roots, your cultural roots, but that will help you for the struggle to work with the people. So, hablando de the roots, I want to say that our language, our people spoke the Nahuatl. In Salvador, actually, we have 4 different nations: Pipiles, Potomames, Lencas, Uluas. That's our indigenous nations. And this language in Nahuatl was spoken in Utah, for the United States, all the way to Mexico, El Salvador, to Nicaragua. Nowadays, it's only about 400 people who speak Nahuatl. That's in Nahuizalco, Izalco, and Panchimalco. And there's a little poem that I want to read. It's in Nahuatl. But they say that the Nahuatl poetry, it was called floricanto, flower and singing, because it was characterized a dialogue between our own heart, the world, the divine, and the people. So this little poem, I want to dedicate, it's dedicated to all the mothers. Tomorrow's Mother's Day. So to all the mothers, it's in Nahuatl. So somebody who speaks Nahuatl cannot teach me a little bit how to pronounce some of the words. So I will translate it into Spanish afterwards. So the poem is called Nonantzin, meaning Madrecita. Nonantzin, Iqua Nimiquis, Motre Quipan, Chinech Stoka, Wan Quachach, Ticlascal Chiguas, Ompa, No Pampa Chicoca, Huantla Acá, Mistla Tlanis, Swapile, Tleca Chichoca, Chiquili, Xochuki in Kuatl, Tetochki Ika Popoca. So now the translation into Spanish is Nonantzin means Madrecita. It was written during the war in Salvador. Some compañero wrote it, indigenous compañero, he fought during the war. So it says, Madrecita, Nonantzin, meaning, Madrecita mía, cuando yo muera, sepúltame junto al fogón. Y cuando vayas a hacer las tortillas, ahí por mí llora. Y si alguien te preguntara, señora, ¿por qué lloras? Dile que está verde la leña. hace llorar con el humo. Thank you. Gracias. It's in náhuatl. So this next, I remember Roque, he said something, but you just mentioned it. He says, poesía es como el pan de todos. The poetry is like the bread. It belongs to everybody. So I think this poem, the Roque's poem, it belongs to me too, because he said it's yours also. So before I read it, I just want to say it's a little bad word in Spanish. So when I say start at the moment, but most people write with the pen of the hands. On poets, they write with the heart in the hands. So this poem se llama Poema de Amor, the love poem by Roque Dalton. He traveled all over the world, so he met people, Salvadoran people, wherever he went, and he find out how people feel, people cry, they think that they're happy about, and everything they went through. So he wrote this for everybody who met. Started this in Spanish. So it says, Poema de Amor, los que ampliaron el canal de Panamá y fueron clasificados como Silver Roll y no Gold Roll. Los que repararon la flota del Pacífico en las bases de California. Los que se pudrieron en las cárceles de Guatemala, México, Honduras, Nicaragua, por ladrones, por contrabandistas, por estafadores, por hambrientos. Los siempre sospechosos de todo, me permito remitirle el imperfecto. Por esquineros sospechosos y con el agravante de ser salvadoreño. Los que llenaron los bares y los burdeles de todos los puertos y capitales de la zona. La Gruta Azul, el Calzoncito, Capítulo. Los sembradores de maíz en plena selva extranjera. Los reyes de la página roja. Los mejores artesanos del mundo. Los que nunca saben nada de dónde son. Los que fueran cocidos a balazos al cruzar la frontera. Los que murieron de paludismo, la picada del escorpión o la barba María en el infierno de las bananeras. Los que lloraran borrachos por el himno nacional bajo el ciclón del norte o la nieve del norte. Los arrimados, los mendigos, los marihuaneros, los guanacos hijos de la gran puta, los que apenitas pudieron regresar, los que tuvieron un poco más de suerte, los eternos indocumentados, los hácelo todo, los véndelo todo, los cómelo todo, los primeros en sacar el cuchillo, los tristes más tristes del mundo, mis hermanos, mis compatriotas. Ahora, solo quiero que ustedes digan conmigo, repitan, right? I want you to repeat after I say it. ¡Viva Roque! ¡Viva!
¡Viva Roque!
¡Viva Latinoamérica en pie de lucha!
¡Viva!
¡Viva Roque! En pie de
¡Viva
lucha!
¡Viva! ¡Hasta la victoria! ¡Siempre!
¡Hasta la victoria!
Siempre. ¡Viva Roque!
Thank you, Miguel. And I loved that point on it, how referring to Roque saying that basically the ownership of his work, which sounds very much like a communist of him to not believe in, well, not to fully believe in discrediting him, but you know, private property and communists, we just don't mesh. So I would like to introduce, and I want to see Enrique is here, I believe. So I will introduce Enrique. Enrique Ramirez, Enrique Ramirez is a lawyer and musician who has defended the immigrant community and fought against injustice here in the US and around the world. His songs are anthems of struggle for a better tomorrow and to rid us of the conditions that exploit workers and deprive us of the freedom to realize our potential as human beings. Take it away, Enrique.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Ok, me escuchan. Bueno, buenas tardes. Un gusto estar con todos ustedes y compartir este reconocimiento al gran poeta Roque Dalton, que nos dio su vida y su originalidad y su amor por el pueblo salvadoreño. Esperamos a seguir en ese camino y haciendo honor a su sacrificio. El de él y de muchos compañeros que ya no están con nosotros. Una canción que escribí recientemente que se llama El COVID-19, para estar un poquito en moda. El virus mentado. ¿Okay? So, la acabo de escribir, así que todavía no está muy bien practicada, pero ahí les va. Vueltas le ha dado al mundo, desde China a Nueva York. Tanto el pobre como el rico traen zurrado el pantalón. Del murciélago mentado nació un virus al vapor, y ahora todos los humanos se miran con gran pavor. Y es que el COVID-19 no es igual que el MERS y el SARS. Es un virus muy potente que se sabe propagar. Tapate bien la nariz, no lo vayas a inhalar, que tus bolsas pulmonares el virus puede matar. Pero no te dejes, cubre tu nariz, que no se te acerque el COVID-19, que aunque no es su culpa, es la evolución, que no se te acerque, que pique el cabrón. Amigos, vean ustedes la rara condición. Hoy valoramos la vida y lo veo de la creación. Hoy ya no contaminamos y es menos la radiación. El reino animal regresa y se crea un mundo mejor. Ahora nos limitamos en comer de lo mejor. Comemos para estar sanos y compartimos amor. Conozco más a mis hijos, mi linda mujer también. ¿Será que este virus vino para que vivamos bien? Nos hizo volver la vista al hogar que tanto amamos, para jugar con los niños y lavarles bien la mano. Como extraño aquel abrazo de mis amigos y hermanos, aprendo a apreciar la vida, que no es solo para el trabajo. Pero no te dejes, cubre tu nariz, que no se te acerque el virus aquí, que aunque no es su culpa, es la evolución, que no se te acerque, que pique el cabrón. Pero no te dejes, cubre tu nariz, que no se te acerque el virus aquí, porque no es su culpa, es la evolución, que no se te acerque, que pique el cabrón. Ahí estamos con la lucha con el COVID-19. ¿Me escuchan? ¿Me están viendo? No estoy seguro. La pantalla se fue oscura. Ya nos censuraron de repente.
No, está bien, se escucha bien, Enrique.
Estamos mirando.
Bueno, ha sido una gran trayectoria del pueblo salvadoreño, de tanto tiempo que han luchado para lograr una paz verdadera, una justicia concreta, real, y aún seguimos luchando. Realmente aún seguimos luchando por ese sueño, pero no hay que nunca dejar de soñar, porque eso nos impulsa una vez más a retener las energías, la estrategia y la voluntad para trabajar juntos y elaborar una estrategia que nos funcione a todos, no tan solo en El Salvador, sino en todo en Centroamérica y en Latinoamérica en general. Una canción que ya conocen ustedes, que escribimos hace mucho tiempo, Los Peludos, en las campañas de Solidaridad allá por los 80. Esta canción se llama Aquí no será. Tuvieron su dificultad de ser en el centro de América. Tu salvadoreño, pequeño gigante, enséñale a Reagan que aquí no será. Tu salvadoreño, pequeño gigante, enséñale a Trump que aquí no será. Y si Mr. Reagan quiere gobernar por medio de juntas y el golpe militar, que no se le olvide que por allí cargan la bazuca roja que acabó a Somoza, que no se le olvide que por ahí cargan la bazuca roja que acabó a Somoza. Aquí no será fácil ocasión, aquí no será tan solo un Vietnam. La América entera no permitirá otra intervención en El Salvador. Lugar para negociar, tu pasado en luto no lo prohibirá. La tierra sembrada, su distribución, alimenta a todos, no solo el patrón. La tierra sembrada, su distribución, alimenta a todos, no solo el patrón. Desde las Malvinas hasta la misión, vamos milicianos en lucha y canción. El oeste en llamas y América grita, empuja pa'lante, que aquí no será. Tu salvadoreño, pequeño gigante, enséñale a Trump, que aquí no será. Aquí no será fácil ocasión, aquí no será tan solo un Vietnam. La América entera no permitirá otra intervención en El Salvador. Aquí no será fácil ocasión, aquí no será tan solo un Vietnam. La América entera no permitirá otra intervención en El Salvador. Bueno, muchas gracias. Ahí seguimos con la lucha. Buenas noches. Hasta luego.
Compañero, victoria, pues.
Thank you, Enrique. That was beautiful, and I hope that I can learn how to do that on my, well, not my guitar. I want to get my partner. Once you learn Spanish, that's going to be the next.
Okay, Savannah.
Wait.
Steps. I gotta learn my Spanish better. I already am bad at English. Look at that. And I believe time is 7:48. I don't believe, if you want to correct me if I'm wrong, Carl, I don't know if there's anyone left. But for the time being, if folks haven't, or if you have, if you're able to donate, if it's like even a $5 or $20, I'm gonna go with that range because that's always my easiest range. Please donate to the Bay Area PayPal, Bay Area CISPES PayPal. That's in the chat. I'll post it again for the time being, but for that, I don't know if we have enough time to give the floor, but I wanted to say thank you to all the performers tonight. I know that it's been a long week alone, let alone like past few months. So I think that times like these, and not just exclusively to Roque, but I think Roque is one of a huge Latin American cultural necessity, as well as other international cultural moments that we need, especially say from the Philippines, from the Middle East, from Africa, all parts of the global South that for years have had their culture silenced or appropriated, or never fully appreciated and platformed. I know for myself that as a Central American, I never got to come across Roque Dalton because nothing in my education in the US required me to learn about cultural or revolutionary or even literary authors in Latin America beyond Pablo Neruda. No offense to Neruda, but I think about that a lot of what are the youth being introduced to that they see in themselves. Do they know about Roque Dalton? Do they know about the Latinas before or around the same time beyond Frida Kahlo that had the same revolutionary beliefs and theories, even in art, that expressed their love for their land, for their people, expressed their catharsis and the pain they experienced being a woman or just being a non-man in Latin America. Hopefully with these cultural events that will be, for Roque to remember him, but hopefully in the future we'll have cultural nights to remember all of those in Latin America that have added to the spectrum that is our culture. So, yeah.
Savannah, I have a question for you. May I assume that you are from the family of Saul Landau and Nina Serrano?
Unfortunately, I am not, though I get that quite often enough. I took Greg Landau's class, actually. Yes, CCSS.
Because Saul and Nina were good friends of Roque Dalton.
Wow. Okay, now I wish I was in their family tree. We're probably, the line probably broke off in Germany.
Yeah.
And that even again shows that Roque is not, I think one thing to also end on is that Roque is not a myth. There are folks that we know. I never got to meet Saul. I only got to meet his son, Greg. And I don't know if Nina signed up, but I think I saw her name. But Roque knew us, like we're mutual friends with Roque.
I'll flush it before I go to bed. I have to poop, so I'm going to do that.
He's like 2 people away from most of us here, and some people, folks, were alive when he was alive, and knew what his presence was and knew what his personality was, even if you knew him or didn't know him. So I think it's significant to bring up that Saul and Nina were friends. Like that was their buddy. He wasn't just this.
Mention, that he would have been 85 this year. He was 4 months older than I am.
Uh-oh.
Wow. See, that also goes to show, again, another example. He was younger than, rest in peace, Little Richard.
Indeed.
We has to make a party for the birthdays.
Exactly. Exactly. That's no, but that's again a testament to time. And like, thank you for putting in perspective, Raphael. In terms of how old Roque was, you know, 40 is very young. It's very, very young. I also wanted to ask before we also end, since we need to support during times like these, I think a lot of the public realizes how much artists, all sorts of creatives are actually a necessity to humanity to help us cope and heal. So I wanted to ask for at least the Revolutionary Poets Brigade, how we can support folks during this time. If folks are still here from the RVG.
So you're
Well,
asking,
we're just really trying to figure it out now. We're you know, we're used to you know, the way we've always functioned is through monthly open meetings of you know, of our group, and you know, now we're kind of we have to like everybody else, we have to rethink, we have to recreate ourselves. We need to reinvent ourselves in this new situation. As we reinvent the world, we need to reinvent our own structures, and that's what we're, you know, trying to figure out now.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yes, I think a lot of organizations and community orgs and all of that, we're all in that
Right.
It's definitely a testament to how we're improvising with the digital age. And I also want to ask how folks that are interested, how they can connect with you.
Oh, we have a website, and there's a Facebook page. You can get on. The best way is to get on our listserv. You know that. You know, if you go to the website, there's a you know, there's an email number that you can connect with and get on our listserv, and then, you know, you'll get all kinds of information you know, coming out.
It's in the information that you have there as part of the introduction.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'll put that. Sorry, folks, my light is here. I'll put that in the link. Is it the email? Folks' Hotmail, I believe. I'll put it right here. Sorry. I believe, is it the aggiefolk@hotmail.com?
No, well, that's, you know, that's Jack Hirschman's email address. So I wouldn't just give that, but there's.
Well, that's what he had asked to have announced.
Oh, okay, okay. You know, Jack said to put it on there, then absolutely put it on there.
That's submissions for the next anthology.
Yes, that's submissions for we're having an anthology coming out.
Right.
Savannah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Are you gonna play for us?
I
You got the guitar right next to you, so let's hear it.
We're waiting.
Come on.
We're waiting.
Let's close with a golden touch, broche de oro.
I think since I've gone to guitar as a violin, I don't know if a violin is close enough.
Okay, yeah, take it, the guitar is. Yes, too.
Got a few
And I wanted to ask where we can be in contact with el maestro Rafael González. Is it still on?
Yes, sí. Lo voy a poner mis señas en el chat.
Ok, sería bueno para seguir en contacto.
Sí, sería bonito, me encantaría.
Y también con mi compañero ahí que recién lo escuché con su última poesía, antes que entrara yo.
Miguel.
Con Miguel también, me gustaría. Entonces, si ponemos la información ahí, podemos hacer contacto independiente.
Sí, muy bien.
Awesome.
Ahora sigue Savannah, que tiene una bella voz, muy buena presentación y está lista para cantarnos una canción ya sea en inglés o en español o como ella quiera, ¿verdad, Sabana?
I know how to speak. I know how to sing in English. Well, no, that's a lie. I know how to sing como la flor. But I don't know many.
Bueno, en inglés o como la flor o como sea. Vamos a escuchar el talento.
As much as I love my Queen Selena, I don't know if I know it verbatim, nor I don't know if she was revolutionary, but but I hope to one day get the vocal range that you have, Enrique, because I'm
No. Come on, girl.
I know, I'm trying to practice. It goes with the chance. You learn along
You can't get out of this one that easily.
I know. Oh, I
A la otra, pues. Next time, then.
Definitely next time. I want to try some
You
poetry.
promise.
Cross my heart. I don't know.
Okay.
But we will.
Good enough.
Thank you. And with that, I don't know if we have anything else to, I don't think we have anything else to end it with, but I wanted to thank again everyone for being here and all of the performers for reminding us about the hope that we have and the contributions that creatives will always have in revolutionary or just, you know, movements in general. So with that, I think, Carl, do you think we're solid?
Yes, and also just to announce that Scott Duncan put down in the chat the website for Somos Escritos, which is an online literary magazine which has been covering this event.
Okay.
And a reminder, it's just the chat button, so it'll be on your right. Awesome. And for those, we'll follow up with you on future CISPES actions and ways that folks can be involved during this time. So thank you so much. And we hope to see you at future events, future actions. Hopefully one day we'll get to see each other in person.
Yes.
Thank you, Savannah. And thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
Enrique.
Thank
Hasta
you.
luego. Adiós, amigos.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Gracias. Gracias.
Gracias a todo el mundo.
Have a good
Gracias.
evening, everyone. Oops.